Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my shoulder and tricep workout. I started with standing press, and I did 2 sets of it and realized, I don't want to do standing. I want to go back to the seated. I've kind of rotated back and forth on the two, a little more biased towards the seated. And while these felt pretty good, the issue I run into is that I can't really lock out at the top. So I feel like I don't get any true benefit to the standing. It's just not beneficial to me. When I did the seated last week compared to this, it felt better, even though I got 10 reps here instead of 8. I did 3 by 8 seated with 135. Same thing, came over, this is the front view, did 155 for 6. And I'm just like, I just don't feel like I'm getting the stimulus that I want out of this compared to my seated. All right, it's just not there. So when we come back over to next week, I'll definitely do seated again. And I don't even need to take the reps this low. I want to keep just hammering the 135 for volume. I want to get that up to multiple sets of 10 seated. I think that's the way I need to go. I don't need these to be heavy because I have my other pressing for that. I have my benching for that. So I think that's where I want to go. But I'm like, this is also a good time since my shoulders are pumped and that overhead position is limited. It's a good time to do some hangs. Now, that's 100 pounds. I'm at a full dead hang. This is my full 100% extension. See my elbows? See my lockout? This is stretch. That's everything I have. That's 100 pounds just hanging around my waist, pulling me down. So when I do mention some of the lockout stuff, that's what we're dealing with. That is my hard lock on my joint, by the way, and my elbows and everything. That's not like bent, pulling on the tendon. That is the joint actually locks there. Both sides. Then we went on to lateral raises. Of course, these felt good. I got at least 12. I think might have got 13 on one of them. Did 12s with these. This is, of course, with a slightly heavier weight than I used to be using. Again, they felt good. Feel like I'm maybe a hair softer around the waistline today versus yesterday. Yesterday looked good. But what tends to happen on that, I think I'll look really good tomorrow. By the time I get to bicep day, I've noticed kind of flows through the week, tends to be pretty good. But overall, still happy with all that. Still happy with everything. This is still pretty much the best I've looked. All right? Best I've looked. So again, you guys kind of see where everything's at. So that kind of fluctuates throughout the week, though. Fluctuates through the week. I felt like my legs looked leaner yesterday. But then again, they had a pump from the deadlifts and stuff, posterior chain. But yeah, laterals went good. Actually, all these other lifts went good today because I feel like I picked up a rep on this somewhere. Like one of these sets, I got like 13 instead of 12. But definitely the overhead, we're going to go to seated. But I think I may do some dead hangs after overhead pressing on these days. Again, because that's when all that area is pumped. It's a good time to put a stretch into it. All right, when it's the most difficult to stretch it. So again, I think that would be a good addition some of these days, right? And dead hangs have their place. They're good exercise in general. Then, of course, I do my rear delt raises on the incline bench. So the trick to these are really isolating the rear delt. Again, using the incline bench, you can't really cheat, right? You can't really cheat. And then I turn the pinkies up so that we really hit that posterior head of the delt a little bit more. Again, great finisher, and it has the perk of the data on it shows that it does hit the side delt also. Absolutely does hit the side delt. Now, part of me, I'm always contemplating, I'm like, if I'm going to do all that incline work on chest day, do I really need the overhead work at all? And that's honestly the real debate I get into on this day, especially if I end up doing 2 incline movements. I always debate that. Do I really even need overhead pressing, or should I just do an upright row in that slot? But I feel like, again, just really double downing on that upper chest area that I will get from the seated barbell press. All right, I feel like I want to continue to accentuate that, even though arms are a little more priority, particularly triceps, which is why we do triceps twice a week. So again, that's the one muscle I am training directly twice a week. And I do a lot of pressing on the chest day. So again, it's mostly pressing, not real isolation. And then I follow up with tricep work. But that's kind of my bigger tricep exercise that day. I'm doing that laying barbell extension. All right. She's going to be a little bigger, a little heavier. And I think on this day, and the reason I tend to like the smaller one on this day, it's a more finesse movement for me to do the incline. And it's going to be 5 days till I bench again. So again, it's the other one puts the bigger, heavier tricep movement further away from the next bench day. It's still 7 days out. This is more finesse, a little bit lighter, plus we get more of that long head activation. And I just feel like it pairs better with that overhead pressing. Pairs better with it. But really that's almost a specialization of my training, because even though we would say biceps, when we see me in the t-shirts and stuff, we realize my biceps aren't that bad these days. I really do just need to fill triceps out. We need biceps bigger, but I do feel like just triceps are really the limit to my arm size, right? So kind of specializing in the whole upper chest area, triceps, and even my shoulder day extends to that by doing it that way. But yeah, I really like the incline extensions. I really like the incline extensions because, again, that deep stretch I get. And I feel like I have my two favorite tricep exercises in every week right now. Although I think press downs are phenomenal. I don't have a pulley set up. I get people like, why don't you get one? Well, space, everything else. I'm trying to do other stuff right now. And I don't want to buy a $2,000 pull-up station or press down station for stuff like that. And people say, what about the little small cheap ones? They don't feel right. I've messed with some of those. They don't really feel the same. People can claim all they want. Oh, I do the one little pulley with plate. You can't tell me it really and truly feels the same as those big commercial ones, right? It doesn't for me. And I'll have other plans with some of that stuff too. So we'll see what I do in the future. But for now, I feel like barring cable press downs, these are some of my favorites. Now, I think decline extensions are great too. I'm not comfortable with my decline bench setup. It's just not worth it. But that's also, I think, a phenomenal one, just because of that different angle involved. I feel like it replicates the press down in terms of the actual benefits. And then, of course, we finished up with the neck extensions. I got PR on this. I've never hit 20 reps with this weight before, but it went something like 20, 19, 13. So I managed to get 20 reps on the first one, and you guys know why we do the neck extensions. Not really particularly for aesthetics. This is a performance and a safety thing. One, it helps with deadlift lockouts. Two, concussions, whiplash, all that stuff. Again, like if you're a fighter or a contact sport athlete, you need to be doing these. For me, because they help with my cricks in my neck I get, which causes I get from sleeping incorrectly sometimes. I notice it gets worse as I get older. This helps with that. I've also noted again when I was doing these regularly, got rear-ended while riding in an Uber, and I came out of it with no pain, no whiplash, nothing. So, and I feel like this exercise contributed. So again, I'm pushing these pretty hard. I don't know that I ever want to add weight. If I get to where we're passing 20 reps on multiple sets with this, we'll just keep the volume high. Again, these are small muscles anyways. We're not trying to treat them like big exercise here, right? We're not trying to do that. The goal is to just build that neck and keep everything healthy and fit and strong there. But pretty happy with today's workout. Other than I didn't like the standing press, I want to go back and definitely stick with seated. Everything else is great. I want to love the standing press. I just feel I get more out of the seated. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.